Who are Team World Waves? I am Charlotte Harris. And
I'm Jessica Oliver.
And we are Team World Waves. So we met at Cardiff University back in either 2009, 10, 11 or 12.
I mean, it's 15 years ago is what it is.
15 years ago, and we became the best of friends in the hockey club. And as our friendship has grown, we have started entering endurance challenges.
We had no rowing experience until Charlotte decided to sign us up for the world's toughest row. So on the 12th of December 2021, we set off from La Gomera in the Canary Islands to row 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. And 45 days later, we arrived in Antigua with the world record for the fastest female pair, having raised £100,000 for shelter and women's aid. The race organisers then decided that they were going to open up the Pacific Challenge, and we kind of thought to ourselves, well, we'll regret not doing it more than we'll regret doing it. So this year last year in 2024, we set off from Monterey Bay, California to row 2,100 miles across the mid-Pacific. And when we arrived in Hawaii, we broke the record for the fastest female pair, for the fastest any pair, so that's mixed and men's. First team ever to do both challenges, having raised a further £30,000 for shelter.
And we won the women's class. So we beat the threes and the fours, and even actually most of the men. We came second in the whole entire race.
Yeah.
What we do with our talks is we like to apply the learnings that we've got from the endurance events that we've entered, and see how we actually apply that to business and personal goals. So what we do is we deliver it in a fun, we are fun and we are interactive. We're light-hearted in the way that we do it, and we make it engaging. But we have themes around resilience, leadership, teamwork, authenticity, women empowerment, and then we act to try and inspire, because we are normal. We had no rowing experience going into this, and we came out with what we came out with, and we take you along the journey of how we got there, how we grew, and how we smashed it.
Once we had done the Atlantic, we'd achieved more than we thought we were ever going to achieve with these challenges.
Yeah.
And a lot of people actually told us, guys, quit while you're ahead. Like, you've done your best. What happens if you're not as successful in your next challenge? And we kind of thought, well, what's the point in stopping? It's a massive risk to put yourself in a position where you could fail. And by fail, we were thinking failing was not getting another world record. But we kind of thought, if we do achieve this, then we will have absolutely achieved more than anyone could have ever thought. So it was kind of a no-brainer for us, wasn't it?
It was no-brainer. I mean, it took us a bit of time to get there, I think, because they opened the Pacific immediately after the Atlantic, and we were like, but you know, every single time that we had a conversation about anything else, it would end up with, but are we going to do the Pacific?
I actually think we signed up because we were bored of talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, is this going to plague us for the rest of our life unless we do it? But it was, again, no regrets, and that's what we set out at the beginning. Like we said, do we want to regret doing it or regret not doing it? And we absolutely do not regret doing it.
I tell you what, as well, is the Atlantic was an unbelievable experience, and we learned so much from it. And what was exciting was to be able to apply some of those learnings to the Pacific. Yeah. But I am so proud of what we did on the Pacific. Yeah. That was so hard.
So difficult.
So hard.
It was very challenging. Honestly, I have so much respect for any team who does this challenge.
I actually can't tell you how much I cried on that ocean. Sun is rising.
This is so hard.
11 miles from Hawaii.
We had to dig so deep. It was so different to the Atlantic.
Yeah, it's literally who the hell signed us up for this?
There's a few things that were different. The race class that we were in was actually the most competitive out of the whole entire race. So there was 3 female pairs with records themselves. So you had somebody who had the mixed pair record, you had somebody who had the solo race record. So we were suddenly in a class where we had to absolutely push ourselves because we couldn't rest on our laurels.
And the thing is, when we went into the Pacific, it was a world record or we had failed in our head. So the expectation, the pressure was on us.
Yeah,
the competition was.
Yeah, the reason that we entered was because there was a second world record to go for. So actually, if we had come out the race with no record, it probably would have been very disappointing.
Which is then jarring thing to think about.
And then actually the Pacific is a different beast in itself, because you are coming away from a massive landmass, which is obviously, you know, North America. And that has all kinds of different impact on the boat and how fast you can get away. You've got wind coming down from the north, so it's freezing. With 30-mile-per-hour winds coming across us, you'll get capsizing, you know, multiple times a day. And all in all, you know, you're dealing with all this physical challenge, but also you need to win. So I think it was almost a level up for us. The Atlantic kind of opened the door, and Pacific closes the door.
Land it shut.
Worst week of my life.
First 7 days, I'm not religious, but I prayed to Jesus.
I'm not joking. At one point I got into my sleeping bag and I just pretended I wasn't here. I actually woke up and I didn't know where I was. It was the best day. Not knowing where I was the best morning I've had.
It was
horrendous.
So hard. Like I said, I can't even tell you, we cried. How many times we cried?
We hugged, we wept. we wept.
We cried.
We laughed.
Today, we love it.
Sun's out.
Sun's out.
We're back, bitch.
Lift the hands.
If I got wet, then I'm absolutely bored. We just got our clothes dry. We have capsized so many times.
Oh God,
it's absolutely biblical out here.
This is Windburn, which is an interesting look because the wind is coming from that side. I've got an hour break now, and then Jess and I are going to do 2 hour on, 1 hour off until 8 p.m. and then back into the 2 hours where you get 2 hours of sleep. Well, it's not really 2 hours of sleep, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. What we've got here is we capsized, and I was in the bow cabin, and I went straight into the side of the boat. Oh. This is so hard. It's like purgatory, and it is relentless.
When you were on the oars for the 2 hours, you've got 5 miles that you need to go, or 6 miles that you need to go, and the focus of that small KPI was really what made us very focused on the challenge.
But what was interesting is that was for the Atlantic, as in like, because with the Atlantic we didn't have the competition to be able to, so it was like we were on the oars for 2 hours and then we knew exactly what we needed to set out to achieve in those 2 hours. Think about the flexibility that we had to show on the Pacific, because your competition was nipping at your heels. Suddenly you couldn't get off the oars after 2 hours.
No.
You had to be on for 8. We were doing like 18 hours of rowing a day just to stay ahead. So it was almost like, and the way that Jess used to be able to change the rowing pattern to be able to basically take into account what our external factors was going on, and then actually make it so that we were operating in the best way we could be for the next 24 hours.
And we were still looking at that clock going, but instead, on the Atlantic it was like 5 miles, but on the Pacific it was like, right, we're going to row for six hours together, and we need to get 8.2 miles. So we were down to the decimal point. On the Pacific.
Yeah.
One of the issues we had was our steering had broke. So we were a week into the challenge and our steering had broke. So one morning we were like, we need to make this work because we need to be going in the right direction. Like every second counted with the competition. So we were fixing the steering one morning. I look up over the side of the boat and I see this absolute massive oil tanker. Now, usually it kind of comes up on your navigation systems or your AIS, your alert systems, that these boats miles or 5 miles or however you set it. So it was weird that we didn't get a notification. So as I saw it, I kind of...
And it's not even a notification, it's an alarm. Like your alarm system goes off. Like when it's 3 miles away and you're like, well, where is it?
Marine traffic, you are holding back.
Yeah.
So I kind of just assumed it was going away from us because we were kind of busy trying to fix the steering. Anyway, 5 minutes later, I look up again and I went, oh my God, Charlotte, which way is that boat going? And it was coming directly towards us. I mean, we are talking hundreds of meters of boat versus 7 meters of boat, and it was coming directly on our line. So we had no idea. What could we do? We couldn't get the life raft out because
I thought we had like 3 minutes to act.
Maximum. We couldn't get the flares out because they were at the bottom of the boat. We'd almost left that too late. We had no notification that this boat was coming. So Charlotte just grabbed the radio and screamed at it. You need to turn. We're a small boat. You need to turn. And it missed us with about 10 meters to spare. So we were 10 meters going up and down the side of this boat until we shot out the other end. And we were genuinely looking at each other. And I don't say this lightly because people have died in these challenges, going, oh my gosh, we're going to die. And only halfway through, when we were halfway through this boat, we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to live. We weren't going to war.
It was unbelievable.
So I think that was definitely the most scariest.
I think sometimes you can get a burst every now and then, say, oh my God,
we did it. Yeah, we text each other every couple of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
and it's as if, do you know what I mean? And what's interesting is when we text each other that moment, when you say as if we did that, and then you have maybe like a 5-minute conversation about how you still are
in shock
about what we actually managed to achieve.
The amount of effort and the decisions we made to get to those outcomes, like we say as if, but I think I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. Which is interesting, isn't it?
Pushed ourselves so hard.
But I think what's interesting about it is how your first reaction, and I think this is the interesting part, your first reaction is as if, and then we have to almost go through and say, no, there's a reason why. Yeah. And I think that happens in businesses, do you know what I mean? And in your personal life, you can say as if, and I think that's when that imposter syndrome sort of comes in. You're like, as if I'm here, as if I've done that, as if I've achieved this. And actually, there's a reason why. There's a reason why people put trust in you, people put faith in you. You are doing well and you're on that journey, or not. And it's like, there are reasons. So if you have success, you have to believe
and
why
stop
you
and
have
think
it.
about it.
Yeah.